Good morning, Southern California, AM 1220, KHTS. Host Fred Arnold on the Santa Clarita Valley Industry Association Business Spotlight. I'm joined by my friend Joshua Rivers. He's got two titles. He's very involved and one of the founders of the Battle Buddy Foundation, and we're going to talk about that just briefly. Also a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Semper Fi.
Yep, part of the operational Iraqi Freedom, part of the invasion force that went in there and cleaned house.
Yes, sir.
And also a professional with Overwatch Security Services. So we're going to touch upon all three real quickly. Battle Buddies. It's something you're passionate about, something you love.
Absolutely. And Fred, thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate that. I'm a veteran advocate. Being a veteran, having a lot of friends who have struggled, came back. It's really important to me that we take care of our veterans. We created a generation of veterans, the post 9/11 generation. What happened to the Vietnam veterans can never happen again.
Never.
And it's really important to me to make sure that happens.
So the Battle Buddy, when we were talking, helps connect service
members,
dogs.
to service dogs.
Service dogs to help with the therapy.
Exactly.
Help them
Post-traumatic stress, mobility, for guys and gals that have, missing limbs, things like that. A plethora of things the dogs help them do. They do specific tasks based on whatever the veteran needs.
Yeah, and so you're actually getting directly involved in their recovery, which is huge. I want to talk about your business, though. I want to spotlight your business a little bit, because if you don't run your business successfully, then you're not able to volunteer all the time and energy you do to Battle Buddies.
Correct.
So let's talk about Overwatch Security Services. I want to talk about something that isn't talked about ahead of time very much, which is active workplace shooting situation. And as a Marine, you have training in this situation. Tell us about how does that conversation look in a big company that's a manufacturing company or someone who's got a lot of employees?
Well, active shooter workplace violence, specifically active shooter, it isn't a conversation we like to have. We don't like, especially when it comes to schools, we're talking about it with our children. We don't like to think about that. We don't like to talk about it. But the fact of the matter is, it's time that we started. It's not fun to think about, children being in earthquakes or fires or other emergency situations.
But we prepare them for
But we prepare for them, right? In the last 50 years, the estimates are no children have died in fires. Yet we continue to have fire drills.
Right.
Why is it that we don't have active shooter drills? Why is it that we continue to have incidents and we have staff and administration that don't know what to do?
And what's critical about this is, and I'm sorry because I don't study these, but there was one recently in one of the schools where one of the teachers was brilliant and got the kids all to hide. In other words, she had some real foresight that can be shared with all.
Absolutely.
She ended up losing her life, but she protected all of her children. It's the preparation.
It's the
critical.
mindset. It's the preparation that's critical. You can never mitigate all active shooter incidents. You can never mitigate workplace violence. You can never completely 100% do away with it. It's impossible. One of our consultants is a former Secret Service agent. And he talks all the time about how the service has a contingency plan for a contingency plan for a contingency plan.
Right.
But the fact is, you can never stop things 100% of the time. But what you can do 100% of the time is have a plan in place. And you're not going to mitigate everything, but you minimize the impact, and you give law enforcement that time and space to react, to take care of the threat.
And to get there. We're talking simple things from having doors that lock behind you, key fobs, knowledge, ways to communicate. Let's talk about some of the topics in general that you discuss.
Absolutely. Some of the things we talk about are, how to relate information to 911. A lot of people don't understand what they should do, that they shouldn't hang up. A lot of people don't understand when law enforcement arrives, what's going to happen. That first set of officers that responds, their job, unfortunately, is not to give medical aid, to calm. Their job is to go take care of the threat. And, getting people to understand what's going to occur, you have to do that, like we said, before it happens. The time to start thinking about it and figuring it out is not when shots are fired.
Yeah. And it's a matter of life and death to do that. We only have about a minute left. Those that want to plan this out, how can they reach out to you? Well, what are the first steps?
Excellent.
Because it seems like a lot. Okay, where do we start with this?
Yeah, and it is my company. I'm the founder and CEO. And they can reach us on the web, www.overwatchss.com.
And you, I assume, have a lot of opening conversations with people about basics so they can get comfortable with the topic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You do initial consultation. And,
We do an initial consultation, and we also can help you liaison with law enforcement and create that emergency action plan so you can train your staff and administration what to do in case of an
in case
shooter.
that ever happens. Yeah. Well, we're going to have you on again for the Battle Buddies.
Excellent.
But before we leave, those that want to reach out and find out more about the Battle Buddies,
Yes.
which helps connect service animals, service dogs,
Yes.
with those in need that are been in war and served our country. That website.
www.tbbf.org.
Great. Thanks for coming in, Joshua.
Thanks, Fred.
Appreciate it.
Great to
Hope
see
you
you.
enjoyed this little piece with Joshua Rivers, with one of the founders of Battle Buddies and founder and CEO of Overreach Security Services. Hope you enjoyed this edition of the Valley Industry Association Business Spotlight Shows. Fred Arnold on AM 1220 KHTS.